Imagine you're training day in and day out. You're hitting the gym, you're progressing your numbers, you're aiming to lift heavier, to do more reps, you're trying to run further and faster every single week, and you're putting in hours upon hours upon hours of effort. Yet you're not seeing your body change, you aren't getting stronger in the gym, you're not running the PBs that you want, and you're frustrated because you're actually seeing your body and fitness get worse rather than better. Well, this is the reality for many in and around their 30s, and if this sounds like you, it could be because you're not paying enough attention to your recovery. Which, by the way, is just as important, if not more important, than the actual training itself, especially as you reach the ripe old age of 30. Now, the way that I want you to think about your recovery is simple. Again, if you've been here for a while, you will know that I'm a big fan of KISS, keeping it simple stupid or stupid simple. I'll let you pick. And when I say recovery, most people's minds will go straight to things like cold plunges, saunas, foam rolling, and all these things are good and well. But focusing on these will mean that you're missing out on the big three rocks of the recovery world. 1, 2, 3. Now, the first of these big rocks is going to be sleep. Sleep is going to be one of the most important things when it comes to recovery because this is when your body actually recovers. What most people fail to realise is when they're training that they're actually breaking down the muscles rather than building them up. And it's the recovery process that actually allows you to come back stronger, with sleep being where that happens. As a general rule of thumb, aiming to get a minimum of 7 hours is going to be super important. You might have a stressful job, you might have a family, you might have kids, so it can be tricky. But making sure that you set some non-negotiables around your sleep is going to be super, super important. Some general advice that I would give you is making sure you get to bed at the same time every single night, potentially having some blackout blinds, having a solid routine that you can follow every single night, trying to stay off screens for at least half an hour to an hour before bed, and most of all, doing this consistently as much as possible. As I say, I know that's easier said than done, and there's only so much control that you're going to have over your sleep times, sleep pattern, and sleep quality, but have a think about those 5 things, think about where you can improve, and action even just one of them. Number 2, when it comes to the big rocks, is stress. Trying to minimize stress as much as possible is going to be massively beneficial for your recovery needs. People often think of stress as just purely work-based or relationship, but the body doesn't actually know the difference between different stresses. Therefore, you going and training as hard as you possibly can 5, 6, 7 days a week, and it's going to make it even harder for you to recover from your actual sessions. This is where not training balls to the wall 24/7 is going to help, and making sure you're doing things that allow you to de-stress and unwind and relax. Things like walks, lower intensity exercise, maybe some mobility work. These things will all have a positive effect when it comes to stress, rather than just trying to push through. The third big rock when it comes to recovery is one that cannot be overlooked. Nutrition. When it comes to nutrition, there's a few different ballparks that we could go into, but making sure you're eating enough total calories, making sure you're eating enough protein, and making sure your food quality is high as possible are going to be the 3 key things that you want to be looking at. A lot of people, if they're trying to get leaner or lose body fat, they'll try and reduce their calories, which is something that needs to be done. But often what I'll see is people try and eat as little as possible, or they slash their calories, meaning yes that they're losing weight and they're losing body fat, but actually it leaves them under-recovered with zero energy and constantly sore. The less you eat, the less your body's going to be able to recover. So even if you're in a deficit and the goal is to lose body fat, get a little bit leaner, or to be able to go to the beach, whip your top off and feel confident, don't fall into the trap of slashing your calories and still try to eat within a moderate deficit. Protein is going to be super important because that's going to be the thing that allows you to build and repair your muscles. As discussed, it's not the actual training that makes you stronger, it's the recovery process. So aiming for anything between 0.8 to 1.2 grams of protein per pound of body weight is going to be important. Finally, food quality is going to be important because yes, although all calories are technically equal, the higher the food quality, the better your body is going to be able to utilize that for recovery. As mentioned in previous videos, making sure that you're following a diet of 80% good quality, nutritious foods, 20% more balance, enjoyment, flexibility would be the way that I'd suggest. Obviously, if the goal is to be able to lose body fat, to get leaner, then food quality is going to become even more important and make up an even higher percentage of your diet. Sleep, stress, nutrition are going to be the 3 key areas that you want to look at when it comes to recovery. Saunas, cold plunges, and foam rolling should be the things that you start to look at once you've got the 3 big rocks in place. Because the reality is, if you're not nailing them, then you're only leaving progress on the table. And as someone in and around your 30s, that's just something we don't have time to do. As always, feel free to hit the link below this video to inquire to the program or for more free stuff. But apart from that, train hard, recover well, and repeat.